Hi everyone, and welcome to another segment. We're here live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. I'm Douglas Jonas. I'm joined today by Jamie Wise. Jamie is the founder, the creator, the innovator of Buzz Indexes. You have an ETF listed here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, BUZ. But I want to start first with the index.
Sure.
Help us understand what exactly it is that you've created.
Okay, sure. Well, first, it's great to be back down here on the floor of the NYSE. It's always a treat to be here, and the energy is fantastic. The index that we created is really the first of its kind that's purposefully identifying investor sentiment within large cap US equities. So for the first time ever, using advancements in artificial intelligence and machine learning, we can now listen in to millions of conversations and understand how people are feeling about stocks and whether they're positively disposed to them or not, and then we isolate that exposure within the index and ultimately the ETF.
And I want to key in on the main point you've made here, which is AI. We love talking about artificial intelligence. It seems like it comes up in almost every aspect of our lives.
It does now.
And you're mentioning the idea, right, we've been trading securities down for 225 years at the New York Stock Exchange. Help us understand the investment world and how AI is fitting into its place.
Sure, and why we did this was for the last 225 years, the first day a stock was traded here on the exchange, sentiment drove its stock price, and we all know it, and we feel it, and we can see it happening, and we've been struggling for 225 years to figure out how do we measure it and how do we capture it, how do we identify that sentiment and take advantage of that sentiment within our investment portfolios. And it's only recently that people are so comfortable sharing that information online, going onto web forums and finance chat rooms and talking about their investment portfolios, that we can listen in and key in on that conversation and really identify, this is important actually, stock-specific sentiment. And stock-specific sentiment is very different than the way we've been trained to think about market sentiment, which is much more broadly and based on gut feel or polling, and there's a whole ton of problems with those approaches.
So the idea behind the intelligence, right, is to take what's happening not just thematically, but also down to single security level, and then wrap it in an index.
Exactly. So what we do is we identify the 75 most positively talked about stocks, large cap US equities, and that's the index. It rebalances each month. So each month you get pure exposure to sentiment. And so if sentiment is something that you believe actually has an influence on stock prices, there's a risk premium built into that, much like growth or value or momentum. Sentiment is a factor that can now be harnessed, identified, and invested in through BUZ.
And that goes back to what we talk about here on the floor quite a bit. The power of ETFs is that in one trade, you can now purchase all these different securities through, you know, the magic of ETFs or the appeal of ETFs.
Sure, and you get that exposure constantly rebalanced for you so that you don't have to worry about having that exposure ongoing. We rebalance and listen every month and reconstitute that index with those most positively discussed securities.
Now, Jamie, obviously you're spending your day learning about AI. You're known as someone who obviously knows quite a bit about this industry. For those of us at home, though, that are thinking about artificial intelligence or information around investing in artificial intelligence, are there places that we could go to learn more?
Yeah, we have a great resource that we actually curate on our website. So if you go to buzzindexes.com, we have an AI industry watch section where we scour the web the same way that we're listening for conversation about stocks. We're listening for conversations about how will AI impact investing in the years and decades ahead, and we're capturing all that material and presenting it in an easy to access format. So you can go to our website and read all about how AI will impact your investment portfolio.
That's great. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for being here with us today, helping us to learn. Thank you everyone for joining in for yet another round of Issuer Insights here at the New York Stock Exchange.